Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the 2024 NFL Playoff Wildcard Round scores, where this weekend were played the 6 games in the Wildcard Round, where now we have the teams that qualified to the divisional round, and they will play this next weekend. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what happened in each game, the teams that qualified to the Wildcard Round the teams that qualified to the divisional round and the games that will be played in the divisional round. So let's start. But before, remember that the last week before the wildcard round started, remember that I created a video where I got my 2024 NFL playoff prediction, where I made my prediction about all the rounds in the wildcard rounds, in the wildcard round, in the divisional round, in the championship series, championships round, and in the Super Bowl. So check it out. So let's start with the AFC. The AFC games were played these two games in Saturday and one game in Sunday, and the NFC were played 2 games in Sunday and one game yesterday. So in the AFC, the Texans defeated the Chargers 32-12, and they qualify and they will advance to the divisional round, and they will play against the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning champion team, and the Baltimore Ravens didn't have any problem and defeated and humiliated my favorite team by Pittsburgh Steelers 28-14, and they qualified to the divisional round. And the Buffalo Bills defeated the Denver Broncos 31-7, and they advanced to the divisional round where they will play against the Ravens. And in the NFC, the Eagles didn't have any problem and defeated the Green Bay Packers 22-10, and they advanced to the divisional round. And where they will the well sorry and another game, the Commanders did a surprise and they defeated the Bucs as a away team 23-20, and they advanced to the divisional round where they will play against the Detroit Lions. And yesterday last game, the Los Angeles Rams defeated the Minnesota Vikings 27-9, where they will play. They advance to the divisional round and they will play against the Eagles. So let's talk about a little about each game. The first game that was played is where the Houston Texans defeated the Los Angeles Chargers 32-12. About this game was very close in the first half, where the Texans were only leading the game by 4-point difference. But in the second half, they outplayed the Chargers, and in the end, they had an easy game because in the end of the third quarter, they were leading the game by 14-point difference, and it was impossible for the Chargers to tie this game. About this game, I was very disappointed for the bad game that Justin Herbert had in this game, because he threw 4 interception, where in the regular season he only threw 3 interception. It was a very disappointment because I thought that the Chargers were gonna to win this game and they're gonna to advance to the divisional round. But you know that this is different when the playoffs started. With this victory, the Houston Texas advanced to the divisional round where they will play against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Saturday second game, the Baltimore Ravens didn't have any problem and humiliated the Pittsburgh Steelers 28-14. About this game, the Ravens dominated the Steelers, I'm not going to lie. They were leading by 21-0 in the halftime, and they had the game under control. The Steelers couldn't compete, to be honest, and the Ravens didn't score more points, and they didn't humiliate more the Steelers because they relaxed is football in the second half, where the Steelers took advantage of that. The Steelers scored 2 touchdowns, where in the third quarter, but in the later the Ravens again increases football, and they scored a touchdown and they won the game by 14-point difference. About this game, the Ravens played a tremendous game where they ran by 299 yards. They dominated the Steelers in the running game and in the passing game, and the Steelers couldn't compete. This has been the same history by the Steelers, because this is the sixth straight time that the Steelers couldn't advance in the playoffs, where in the last 6 games, the Steelers are 0-6 in the playoffs, where the Steelers haven't won any playoff game since 2016. So this is something that the Steelers front office and the owner should put attention, because it's not possible that the Steelers can qualify to the playoff, but they can compete against the top teams. I don't know what is going to happen. If you ask me, I think that the Mike Tomlin should have been fired, because I think that he doesn't have the enough capacity or skills to lead the team to another Super Bowl. And I think that he's a very great head coach, but I think that in this moment he's not the right for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But also, if the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin, I don't know who is gonna to be the next Steelers head coach, and if this head coach is gonna to make that the Steelers can qualify to the playoffs. So the most probable is that it's not gonna to happen anything, and it's going to happen the same in the next season, where the Steelers are gonna to compete against the teams that are very bad. But against the top teams, the Steelers are not going to compete and they're going to lose. The Steelers are going to qualify to the playoffs in the next season, but in the playoffs, they're going to be eliminated in the first game. And with this victory, the Ravens qualify to the divisional round, where they will face or play against the Buffalo Bills. And the Sunday games. In the first game, the Buffalo Bills defeated the Denver Broncos 31-7. About this game can be divided in the first half and the second half. In the first half, the Broncos put emotion, because they play a very great football, where they were trailing by 3-point difference, because the Bills were leading in the halftime 10-7, where the Broncos had the opportunity to tie this game, because in the second quarter, last play, the Broncos had a field goal, but his kicker missed it, and they missed the opportunity to tie this game. And I think that this was the tipping point, because the Broncos couldn't tie the Bills, and in the second half, the Bills dominated the game, because they scored 21 points. They didn't allow any more points, and in the end, the Bills had an easy game, and they won the game by 24-point difference. With this victory, the Bills advanced to the divisional round, where they will face the Ravens. I think that the best game in the divisional round, and the Broncos were eliminated. And in the Sunday second game, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Green Bay Packers 22-10. About this game, I was very, very disappointed by the Packers' performances, especially the offense side, and Jordan Love, because he played a very bad football. He threw 3 interceptions, and also the Packers had 1 fumble, and they had 4 giveaways. The Eagles took advantage of that, and they won this game easily. About this game, the Eagles didn't play a very great football, I'm not gonna lie, but they did enough to win this game, and they didn't have any problem in the game, because the Packers, especially in the offense, couldn't compete against the Eagles. The Eagles had an easy game. They won the game by 12-point difference, and they advanced to the divisional round. And with this with this loss, the Packers lost against the loss and was eliminated. And in this season, the Packers couldn't defeat a top team, because they lost 2 games against the Eagles, 2 losses against the Vikings, and 2 losses against the Lions. So they need to improve if they want to compete and win in playoffs. They need to defeat the top teams. And Sunday's third last game, the Washington Commanders traveled to Florida and defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2020. I think that this was the best game in the Wildcard Round, because this was very exciting, and this game was defined in the last play of the game. This was very close. Remember that I in my prediction, I think I predicted that this game was gonna to be defined in the last minutes in the last play of the game, and I thought that the Buccaneers were gonna to win this game, because they had the home advantage. But the Commanders play a tremendous game, because they dominate the game in the statistics there. But the Bucs put emotion to this. I thought that the big difference here is that in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Bucs were in the offense, but Baker Murphy lost the football and a fumble. They were in the Bucs field goal in the Bucs zone, and the Commanders took advantage and they tied the game because if the Commanders had scored that sorry, in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Bucs had the lead by, I think that the 4 point difference. They were leading the game 17-13, but the Baker Mayfield had a fumble. The Commanders recovered it and they scored a touchdown and they put they were leading in the game. And also the later the Bucs tied the game 2020, but the Commanders had the last possession of the game. Jaden Daniels led the team to the Bucs red zone, and the Commanders kicker scored the field goal and they won the game 20-20. With this victory, the Commanders did a surprise and they qualified to the divisional round. I think that this is the first time that the Commanders win a game in playoffs since 19 or 15 years old. So this was history, and they will play against the Detroit Lions. On the last game in this round, yesterday the Los Angeles Rams defeated the Minnesota Vikings 27-9. Remember that this game was moved on to Glendale, Arizona. It was playing in the State Farm Stadium because the LA wildfire. I thought that the Rams were gonna to lose this game because the game was moved on and because what happened with the LA wildfire. But the Rams played a tremendous game. They dominate this game and they had an easy game and they won it easily. The Rams had the game under control and they had the game over and the fight in the halftime where they were leading 24-3. In the second half, the Rams scored another three points. The Minnesota Vikings scored only 6 points. They could never reach the Rams and they lost the game. With this victory, the Rams qualify to the divisional round and they will face the Philadelphia Eagles. This will be a tremendous game. And about the Minnesota Vikings, this was a very bad situation because they play a tremendous game. They won 14 games in the regular season, and I don't understand why they finished in the fifth place. I know that because they couldn't defeat the Lions. But if you see, the Vikings only lost against two teams in this season. They lost the 2 games against the Lions and these 2 games against the Rams. I know that this is not a fair situation, but these are the rules, and they knew the rules about that. The Sam Darnold played a very bad game in the last 2 games against the Lions in the last week and yesterday. And I think that if I was my opinion, I think that the Vikings should have focused in another quarterback because Sam Darnold is not the solution to lead this team to a Super Bowl. So now the divisional round is defined, and the teams how I told you, the teams that qualify to the playoffs and the games will be the next. The next Saturday we have 2 games. The Kansas City Chiefs will play against the Houston Texans in Kansas City, Missouri, and the Detroit Lions will play against the Washington Commanders and Detroit, Michigan. And the next Sunday, in the first game, the Philadelphia Eagles will play against the Los Angeles Rams in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And the last game and the best game of this round, the Buffalo Bills will play against the Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo, New York. Remember that in this week, the most probably this Friday or Tuesday, I'm gonna to create a video where I'm gonna to give my prediction about this round. So let's wait for that. So in this video, I talk about what happened in the NFL playoff Wildcard Round, where the Texans, Ravens, and Bills advanced in the AFC conference, and the Eagles, Commanders, and Rams advanced in the NFC conference. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have any comment or suggestion, you can write me in any of my social media platform. So see you next video. Gibran.